All right, and we are back in a new month, the month of March. All right, so with the open of a new month comes a new batch of analysis videos, and we're gonna get started with Bitcoin. All right, so before I get started with the analysis, I want to give you guys my broad view, just in case you guys haven't seen any of my previous videos, and then I'll give you my view on the current right now price action of what I think is likely going to happen next. All right, here's my broad view. I believe that everyone should be striving to get 10% of one Bitcoin. All right, minimum. If you can get 10% of one whole coin, then you got yourself a smooth sailing 100K. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because I firmly believe that Bitcoin will get to $1 million per coin soon. All right, I believe it's going to happen much sooner than 2030. That's my broad view. Here is my short-term now view. I'm going to play devil's advocate as to why I don't like what price is doing right now. Okay, in my last Bitcoin video, I spoke about Bitcoin going to 89,000 at the end of March. All right, and as you guys can see, we have gone much lower than 89,000. We went to about 78,000 and some change before March even opened. All right, that's not good. Based off of the analysis I did in that last video, that's not good. So in that video, I said that if we get below 89,000, it would be short-lived and we would likely go much higher. The problem is we went below 89,000 much sooner than expected, because the reason why I said it'd be short-lived and we would go higher is because I did that analysis under the pretense of the quarter candle closing already. All right, so I'm here on the 3-month, and what I was saying was, if we had an imbalance, if we had a fair value gap that was confirmed, then at the end of March going into April, I expected price to drop down into that and then go higher. Okay, very similar to what happened in July. You can see it just here on the chart. We had a confirmed fair value gap here. In one quarter, we reached into it, closed out of that, and the very next quarter, we expanded higher. But this is not good, guys. In my opinion, it's not good. And I'm saying this with the knowledge of what Trump said this morning. So just let me clarify. I understand that the Bitcoin reserve is a go. It's confirmed, no more speculation. I understand what Trump said this morning. He said that there will be Bitcoin, Solana, Cardano, Ethereum, and XRP in the stockpile. And he did say that there would be other cryptocurrencies along with that, but so far we have those 5 confirmed. Okay, so I understand that the bullish response that's coming from the market right now after we just had that huge drop from just a few days ago. All right, but here's the issue. If we leave this area open, which it currently is, I mean, we have right now in our current quarter, we've got this doji candle, right? If we leave this area open all throughout March, there's still a possibility for us to come back down and offer fair value. And that's the thing that I'm concerned about. In order for us to really move away from this area, we've got to start showing higher prices immediately, because further consolidation would likely mean that we're going to do another shakeout. And I hate to say it, but when I saw what price did when it did it, that's not good, man. Like I'm really concerned for Bitcoin here. Now, a bull case is this stays open as a breakaway gap and we just continue going higher. That'd be awesome, right? The issue is we're not seeing that right now. Okay, let me show you something. If I drop down to the monthly, take a look at this area right here. Now you may look at this and say, all right, cool, we've got a bullish monthly imbalance that's holding right now. The problem is that's not the case. It looks like it from the monthly chart, but this is not a real valid monthly imbalance anymore, and I'll show you why. I'm gonna hop into replay and I want to explain exactly how this gap was already tested and the liquidity has already been distributed to the buy side. Watch this. Right here on December 1st, this December candle, the imbalance was created. In January, this was the first candle to test that area. Now, after testing this area, you'd want to see that liquidity be distributed to the previous high, which would be December's high. Take a look at how this works on the weekly chart. So on the weekly, pay attention to this larger area right here marked by the M for monthly. You can see that right here, December 30th, that week of December 30th, the monthly imbalance was confirmed, all right? It wasn't until 2 weeks later, 1, 2, that we reached into the imbalance. This candle did not reach into the imbalance yet. The low on this was 91,315. The low here was 91,215. So we did reach into the gap here, and we made a lower low on January 13th. All right, great. We closed outside of that gap, went green, but look what the following week did. It took out the external high. This was your target after going into that imbalance. So if we've already offered fair value to this area and hit external liquidity, this large imbalance is invalid. It's over with, all right? I subscribe to the theory that you cannot offer fair value twice to a fair value gap. It's not logically or algorithmically possible. You don't offer fair value multiple times. Once a gap is tested, that's it. The only thing left in that area is the liquidity sitting, in this case, below the swing point. So the liquidity that's left in here is here. So if price was to reverse off of the high, then it's likely going to go after the sell side liquidity that sits below the fair value swing low. All right. Now, here's the thing. Even though this monthly area is now invalidated, it's done. I wouldn't say invalidated. It's just completed. It's completed its job. Look, you still have this weekly area that hasn't been tested. All right. So after I saw the monthly gap do its job, we didn't close above the previous swing high. And I said this in the last video. It would have been nice if we expanded and closed beyond the previous swing high, but we didn't. We came back into the range. And to be specific, if I go to the monthly, we actually closed at the equilibrium of the previous month's wick, okay? So January's wick, if you take the midpoint, that's where we closed. And that's currently where we reversed from. So this is our near-term resistance that we need to get above and close above in order for me to think that this thing is really ready for a new high. Now, right now, we are heading back up towards $102,418. That's the level. But I'm not convinced yet that Bitcoin is ready to go bullish, despite what Trump said. This is your real resistance right now, 102,418. But going back into replay, I want to illustrate one more thing. If I go back down to the weekly, you see how we have this area, which would be your monthly fair value swing low. It's the swing low that's in here. That's the low that went into the monthly area before hitting external liquidity. You see how we have this area left over? You now have two liquidity pools to look at if price was to reverse. You have the swing low here. That's your first sell side liquidity. Then you have this gap here that has not been reached into. That's your second area of liquidity. One of them is external liquidity. This one is internal. So there's no coincidence as to why price went down and reached into both of them. But look at where the reaction came from. If I just exit out of replay. All right. This is no coincidence to me as to how we took out this one and then went here. The problem to me is the timing. The timing is everything. Why did we go down there just a couple of days ago and not at the end of March? That's what concerns me, guys. I've been pondering it for a few days. Like, I don't know about this. Why would we come down and test this now and not wait till the end of March? The problem lies with the 3 month now. We have to keep an eye on the 3 month. Yes, we're getting a bullish reaction from this weekly gap. That's great. But there's no promise that this gap is going to hold and get us to external liquidity, which is now at 109,356. All right, that's your new external liquidity. It's all-time high, 109,356. But if I hop up to the 3 month, there's still an open area that could be tested in April now. If we close as a doji, just like we are right now, it's possible that price may come down just to really, really shove it to everybody. Like, I want you to think about this. Just think about this from a psychological standpoint. We had a huge drop just a few days ago. And after that, everybody's trying to recover. Everybody's just trying to chill, lick their wounds, right? And then Trump comes out of nowhere I wouldn't say nowhere, but Trump comes out this morning and says, we're going to have that stockpile. Bitcoin's going to be in it. These altcoins are going to be in it. Doesn't it seem just a little obvious to buy back in right now? Just think about that. Like, Trump makes a national announcement on the crypto reserve. That's going to bring in buyers. Those buyers are going to be entering at the prices that were available to us yesterday. Okay, so your 85K, your 85,000, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, all the way back up to where we are now. That's where the buy entries are. Those stop losses of those buyers sit below their entry point. It just seems really obvious. It's almost like painfully obvious. Like, I don't know if I want to touch it. It just seems very weird to me. All right. And again, I'm playing devil's advocate based off of the timing these things are happening, based off of what I'm seeing in the chart, based off of the announcement and the way price bounced from this weekly level. Go back to that. All right. This weekly level, it just seems like this could be a recipe for another drop below 79K. Now, it would be fantastic if I'm wrong. I would love to see price get above the midpoint of December, right? 102,418, get a close on a monthly basis. It needs to be on the monthly basis. And we see a new all-time high above 109,000. But until I see this area breached and closed above, I'm leaning still over to prices even lower than 79K. That's my analysis for Bitcoin. Just think about it, right? Just think about it. This monthly area is not valid. It's already done its job. It did its job in one candle. It went internal to external in January, and I showed you that. Instead of closing beyond the previous high, we went back into the range. These are not good things for price action, all right? Just something to think about. Trade with caution, buy with caution, but I still think everyone should try to strive for 0.1 Bitcoin, all right? 10%. So keep an eye on that. As more price develops, I'll do a new analysis, but this is what I think so far.